Canadians were an incredible fighting force throughout World War I. From Vimy Ridge to Passchendaele to the Somme, the Canadian Expeditionary Force proved themselves time and time again as a reliable team to the rest of the Allies. However, despite all the successes at these battles, one victory in particular stands out as most significant in defining Canada's identity: the Second Battle of Ypres. Before we talk about exactly what made this battle so significant, let's go over a brief summary of what happened during this conflict. After arriving in England in October of 1914, the Canadian Expeditionary Force and Britain's army were called into the Ypres salient in April 1915, a section in the front lines of Flanders Plains, east of the Belgian city of Ypres. The trenches that the Allies occupied had awful conditions, being shallow, poorly constructed, and incredibly dirty. Fighting soon broke out between Germany and the Allies, but the first major event didn't occur until the 22nd of April. On this day, the German army released over 160 tons of chlorine gas, which soon drifted over no man's land and began to approach the Allied trenches. This was a move that nobody had been expecting, as Germany had previously signed a treaty banning the use of chemical gas in warfare. The gas first hit the Algerians, causing them to suffocate and flee from their positions, leaving a hole on Canada's left flank. However, the Canadian and British battalions managed to fight the gas and plug the hole, resisting the approaching German onslaught. Unfortunately, this wasn't the end of Germany's attack. On the 24th of April, they released another gas attack on the Allies. This time, the Allies were more prepared and many Canadians survived by covering their faces with a urine-soaked cloth, which was an action that had been suggested to them by their medical officers. This attack opened holes in the front line, but the Allies managed once again to hold strong and repel the attack. This battle was fought on for about a month longer, mostly by the British, until they finally won and pushed the German forces out. Afterwards, the Canadian soldiers were praised for their courage in repelling the gas attack. However, this did not come without a price, as there were over 59,000 Allied casualties, 6,500 of which were Canadian. Now, why was this battle more significant to Canada's identity than, say, Vimy Ridge? Well, first of all, this was Canada's first battle of World War I. When you also consider this was Canada's first war, this battle was crucial in proving Canada's competency as a military force. They'd also resisted the first use of chemical gas in the war, which was a terribly difficult task that most other armies might have lost to. This particular achievement was one that was celebrated and acknowledged by the rest of the Allied forces, cementing Canada's reliability to the Allies. Their courage here very well might have been a factor that led them to fighting at Vimy Ridge, which cemented this even further. Additionally, Canada's courage here led to the creation of the very first gas mask, which was invented by a Canadian, Clenny McPherson. This mask was used by almost the entirety of the British forces when it was introduced. Finally, John McCrae, a Canadian medical officer, wrote his widely acclaimed poem, In Flanders Fields, during this battle, a poem that added weight to the courage Canada displayed during this battle. He also demonstrated this through his continued treatment of his fellow soldiers at a nearby dressing station, despite the fact that his lungs had been damaged by the chlorine gas. All of these factors contributed greatly to Canada's increased independence at the end of the war, which was represented by the seat they were given at the Paris Peace Conference. This independence aided Canada greatly, giving them more of a presence on the world stage and allowing them to better participate in events like international trades, bettering their economy and growth. The Second Battle of Ypres was a crucial step in achieving all of this. In conclusion, the Second Battle of Ypres was a crucial battle in defining Canada's identity in World War I. It may not be as highly looked back upon as battles like Vimy Ridge, but it was equally important in establishing the legacy of one of the Allies' greatest fighting forces.